So in the next verse, it's the verse 20, chapter 1, verse 20. अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यमपाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदम् आह महीपते. So here it is mentioned as the Rishikesha. So atha vyavasthitam drishtva. So at that time Arjuna, the son of Pandu, who was seated on the chariot of the chariot was donated by Agni, and the Kapidhwaja, the flag was marked with Hanuman. So took up his bow and arrow, and then he started to aim at the enemies. So after that he started looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in a military array, and then Arjuna spoke to Krishna the way in the following verses. So the battle was just about to begin, and it is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the counsels that were blown by the Pandavas, and they were also disheartened by the military arrangements that was made by the expert military force by the Pandavas. Now, all these were actually directly guided by the instructions of Lord Krishna in the battlefield, and the emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is representing another sign of victory, because when Lord Ram was there fighting with Ravana, so that time also Hanuman was there. So Hanuman also helped Lord Rama in winning the battle. So now the same Hanuman is here as an emblem in the flag of Arjuna, and the same Lord Ram is here in the form of Krishna now to help. Now both of them are there to help Arjuna to win the war. So wherever there is Ram, Sita has to be there. The concept of the Lord Ram will be there. So wherever there is Krishna, again the goddess of fortune will also be there. So wherever there is goddess of fortune, so there is no chance of misfortune for the person who is carrying the goddess of fortune. So in one sense there was no fear of enemies by Arjuna, in one sense that he should not have got afraid by looking at the armies of the Duryodhana side. So above all, the senses of Arjuna were directly controlled by Krishna, the personality of Godhead, and by the good counsel of the Krishna himself, Arjuna is actually going to basically win, but then he is getting into a suspicious mood now. Now, even though everything is auspicious on Arjuna's side, but now eventually he is getting into a suspicious mode, and then we'll see how the things unfold. So the arrangement is done in a way that Arjuna and Krishna and Hanuman are all together, and then they are all helping to win, or there is a assured reason of victory from the Arjuna side. So in the next two verses, Arjuna is mentioning in the verse 21 and 22 of chapter 1, Arjuna uvacha senayaruhayormadhye ratham sthapayemachyuta yavat etan niriksheham yuddho kaman avasthitan kairmaya sahayodhabhyam as asmin rane samudyame. So what he is asking is, Krishna, please draw my chariot in the midst of the armies, between the two armies, so that I may see those who are present here desiring to fight, and with whom I must contend on this great trial of arms. So now he is basically he's just about to fight. He has already put his arrow on his bow, and then he was just about to start to begin the war, but instantly he wants to measure the strength of the opposite army. So he is now requesting Krishna to take the chariot in between the armies so that he can actually observe the armies properly with whom he is going to start his fight. So here Krishna is addressed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is addressed here as Acyuta. So Acyuta is referring to the one who is infallible. Infallible means that he, as Krishna, as Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is always affectionate towards his devotees, and then he does not deter or he does not fall from the situation of his commitment. So Acyuta means one who does not fall from his position, or one who always maintains his position. So even though Krishna was willing to take up the charioteer position of Arjuna, which is considered to be a lowly activity, it's like a chauffeur. I mean, it's like a person is hired as a chauffeur or a driver who is always, under the command of the owner. But here, Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is considering helping or serving his devotee, being a charioteer, but still his position does not get deteriorated. That means he does not lose his being a personality of Godhead, being his Godhead. For example, when a High Court or a Supreme Court judge goes to his house, and he when he enters house, and then he has a grandson. So the grandson or a granddaughter makes that particular judge, who is a very supremely in a very supreme position, a horse, and then that child sits on the back of that particular person and then chases the horse to roam around the house. So when the child is making the elderly person or the grandfather as a horse or like that, so he does not lose his position, but rather he is happy to become the horse in the hands of a child, because there is a loving relationship. So that's how the position of Krishna does not get deteriorated. The position of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not reduce just by becoming himself as the charioteer of Arjuna, of his devotee Arjuna. So by becoming the charioteer, his supreme position cannot be challenged. So just by becoming the ghoda or becoming the horse in the house of the child, his position is not challenged. So here he is also known as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also known as Rishikesa, and he is also having the complete control over the senses of his devotees, of his devotee Arjuna. So the relationship between the devotee and the Lord is very sweet and transcendental and very intimate. So the servitor, the Arjuna, is always ready to render service to the Lord. Similarly, the Lord is also willing to render service to the servitor or the pure devotee, assuming different positions, assuming different situations, and taking different roles in order to help or serve that particular devotee in different situations. So it's not that when Krishna becomes a charioteer, he loses his godhood position, he loses the position of the as a godhead. It doesn't happen like that. So as Supreme Personality of Godhead, nobody is above him, or nobody is beyond him, or nobody is at the equal level of him also. But that's why he is called an infallible master. So Krishna remains an infallible master under all circumstances. Now, the pure devotee thinks that the Lord is there and I want to serve the Lord, and the Lord also thinks that my pure devotee is there, I also want to serve him. So there is a very intimate, loving, reciprocal relationship that exists between the Lord and his devotees. And Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers, but he was kind of forced to come onto the battlefield to fight just by the obstinacy of Duryodhana. So, who was never agreeable for a peaceful negotiation. and he was very very difficult to convince. He never got convinced about a peace proposal. So the situation was like there was no question of peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, definitely, because they have now all decided to come on a fight. But still he wanted to see them again. Arjuna wanted to see them again, and then he just wanted to understand how much these people are demanding an unwanted war, which was tried, or which was endeavored for several times to be avoided. So that's the message in this particular verse.